Well, I think, that's probably the last of the strawberries in our strawberry patch. Just picked 4 and that's it. The rest there's a few that are a little bit mouldy. Here we are, it's the middle of July, and I just thought I'd give you a little walk around the allotment and show you what's happening, what's growing, what's not, what's ripening and what's finished. So I'll take you on a little tour. We just dug this border up yesterday. It was our Charlotte potatoes. We've still left one row in that sits in the shade and it wasn't quite ready. We've got a good crop of Charlotte potatoes and I've replanted. I've put in fennel and beetroot, borage, some red spinach, and I'm going to put in a couple of winter cabbage now. And I've got some parsnip in there. So I'm hoping they'll grow. I did fennel last year in the same way after the potatoes and that was lovely. It's a very pretty plant as well when it grows up. The borage I've never grown before. I can't even remember whether it's an annual or a perennial, but I put it in and we'll see what happens. This is my sort of brassicas bed. I've got 2. They're not entirely brassicas. I got a bit mixed up while I was planting and I've got all sorts in here. They were doing really poorly up until about 6 weeks ago, and I decided to start feeding them. I had some comfrey tea which I've fed them about 3 times and it's really shot up since then. So we've got some Calabrese starting, little heads there. I've already had one. It wasn't big but it was nice enough. Got a few of them dotted. I think I've got some sprouts in here, but which is which I can't tell. My red cabbage has started to come along quite nicely. I've got Cavolo Nero kale. It's been a little bit scabby, that. Moth-eaten. I did have nets on this, but again, as a novice I didn't get it quite right. You really need your nets to be high and mine were too low, and when the plants started to grow I've just taken them off. The plants can just take their chances with the birds. This is parsnip. It's coming on beautifully. I'm quite keen to see what that'll be like, but I presume I'll leave that in until after the first frost because I think it gets sweeter after that. And then there's some curly kale. That's looking good now actually. I need to come and pick some of that. And then along here I've also got volunteer potatoes from last year's first earlies. We'll take them up as well when we can. And right round the other side, in this corner I've got beetroot and some red curly kale. The beetroot is very poor this year. I grew loads last year, but this is eventually starting to grow, thank goodness. I thought I wasn't going to get any at all, but that one's gone to seed already. So I don't know whether it's the weather or what that's caused my beetroot to fail this year, but I am getting some. And that kale's looking much nicer since it's been fed as well. So overall this border was very disappointing to start with, but now I'm starting to see some progress. This is the other border that was supposed to be a brassicas border. Again I got a bit jumbled up and planted other things in here. Still it's coming on quite nicely, I'm quite pleased. These are red cabbages, all quite moth-eaten. Again I had the same issue with it. I had a low net on. Next year I think we'll have little frames built that are higher up and I can keep my brassicas properly together in one bed. Anyway, we'll just take my chances this year. That's some red cabbage. I've got a nice row of leeks there coming on beautifully all the way up here. I've got those nasturtiums in amongst them, but I don't want to pull those out, they're pretty. And then I've got sprouting broccoli at the end. I had a row of kohlrabi here which I pulled out. It looked ready. We'd never had kohlrabi before and I don't think we'll ever have it again. It was pretty nasty. I'd heard it was like you could grate it up and put it in your salads and it was a bit like raw apple. It was just a nasty old turnip. So anyway, we've tried that once and I won't bother with that again. And then in this far corner I've got green cabbages, and at last they're starting to get form a little head in the middle, so I'm pretty pleased about that. Again, I think the birds, the pigeons, are pecking at the leaves, but see how we'll go. Quite pleased with it. This is one of the raised beds. It's kind of been taken over with nasturtiums. These all self-seeded from last year. Again, I haven't got the heart to pull them out, they're so pretty. But in amongst the nasturtiums, we've got some chard. It hasn't done very well just because it's been choked out. And I've also got New Zealand yams or ochre, which we grew last year. That's volunteer as well. I thought I dug it all up, but obviously it's come back. So that's doing well. We'll leave that in until 3 weeks after the first frost, when all the foliage dies back. If you've never tried New Zealand yams, I recommend them. They're really just little small orangey pink tubers. Delicious, very, very nice. Coming a bit further along here, I've got celery. I grew both these celeries from just one of the celeries that you get at the shops, and when you chop off all the actual stalks and keep the end, and I rooted it on the windowsill and just pushed it in here when it started to grow sprouts. One of them is dying now. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm just going to cut that back today. But this other one, I think it's going to seed actually. I might just cut them both back. And what I do with celery is I just cut it all up. We don't eat a lot with salads and that, we're not that keen on it. I cut it all up and freeze it, and then I use it to make stock or make bechamel sauce and things like that. I'll show you this other half, which is a bit more sensible and productive now. So in this one we've got, I've got spinach, I've got the red spinach coming up here, then lettuce is all the way along here. I've planted a lot of lettuce this year, too much really. I'm taking it off the outsides all the time rather than picking the head. But anything we don't eat, the hens seem to love. I've got a row of parsnips and a row of leeks, and in the little pockets around the outside I've got some little cherry tomatoes growing as well. This is the other raised bed. I've got carrots growing along there. I've put some little sorrel plants. I'm not sure how high they grow. I've just put them in, so we'll see what they do. More lettuce. I've got spring onions here. We've had a good year for spring onions. They've been lovely. Rocket, which we've had loads of. More lettuce, some chives, some spinach, and then all around the edges I've got the little cherry tomatoes again, and I've even pushed some leeks in these pockets. And this is chard from last year. It's gone to seed now, but it's been good. It looks quite ornamental. These are our peas. They seem like a great success. I just grew the dwarf ones last year. These are Kelvedon Wonder. Really pleased with them. As you can see, vibrant, masses of flowers. They've now got masses of pods on them. I haven't picked any yet, but we're going to get a good crop. I might try and find one. That's quite a good one, and I'll show you. You can get the first look at the peas. Ooh. Right, I'm going to test these out. Very sweet. This is the bean border. I've got runner beans at the back there. How do you like me rickety old frame? That's going to have to come down at the end of the year, and I'll redo it next year. But yeah, they are lovely. As you see, they're in flower. We'll get plenty of them. I've got some more broad beans here. These were spring sown as opposed to the previous lot, which were autumn sown. So I'm waiting a bit longer for these. They're nearly there though. And then at the front here I've got French beans. I've got a purple variety that we grew last year. The beans are purple, and then when you cook them they go green. It's quite fun. And I think I've also got some dwarf borlotti beans, but same as last year, I don't think they're going to produce much fruit. They don't seem as if they've got any flowers on. And then just tucked in at the front I've popped some more leeks. All doing well. Perfectly happy with this. This is the border that we had the first earlies in. They were called Pentland Javelin. We've got a big sack in the garage of them now. They are lovely. I've replanted. I've got Swedes right nearest you. Then some French beans and some what happens. At the end here I've got my rhubarb. Someone gave me a couple of little pieces last year, and I didn't think it was going to work because the slugs really got them in the spring and they looked like they were going to die, but they've come right back, so I'm pretty happy with them as well. This is comfrey. This just went in last year as well. It grew massive earlier in the year, and all the flowers were on it, very pretty, loads of bees on it. But I decided I'd cut it right down to the ground about a month ago, put the whole lot onto the compost heap, and the compost heap just heated up hugely after I'd done that and rotted right down really fast. And just in the last month all this has grown back up again. It's starting to get some flower heads on there again, so that's great, and I'll cut that back down again later on, put it back on the compost. I know it gets invasive and I can see because it's so big already, but at the minute it's looking good and it's doing a good job on my compost. This was the onion bed. The onions bolted. I still got quite a lot and they were reasonable size, so I'm not too worried about that. They've been out a while. I've got tomatoes, Moneymaker and Gardener's Delight. I don't know how much fruit I'll get off them. Growing tomatoes outdoors here, I'm not sure. We'll see. I got a few off last year, and I've got beetroot in here as well, and I've got a couple of squash at the end. And see what we get out of them. The beetroot again is quite small and it's not thriving like it did last year. Maybe everything just needs more compost than I put on. I'll certainly endeavour to put more on this autumn. Anyway, this border had the garlic in. Now I've got tomatoes again along the back, and I've got sweet potatoes in here. I'm not sure if the sweet potatoes will do alright. I grew them last year and they were fine elsewhere in a different location, but again they seem slow to get away. We'll see. And there's still some onions left in there as well. They'll come out soon. I did put some more spinach in here because we like spinach, but I've realised spinach is very much an early summer, spring kind of leafy vegetable. It just went straight to seed, this lot, but never mind.